So, good afternoon, welcome. You're in EnlightenNext Centre in London, and I have a guest here, Steve Noble, who I've known for quite a few years now. He comes from Alternatives, which is a beautiful building in town. It's a huge church which they hire out on Mondays and the weekends, and basically they're very interested in activating the spiritual impulse in the broader society and making it available for many people. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here.
Nice to see you. I was just thinking maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about maybe your vision and Alternatives' vision and how it all comes together.
Okay, well, from a young age I was interested in spirituality, although I didn't know it that way. I was interested in things like mythology and other kind of thing, magical stuff, but that got sort of squashed, and I lived a normal life for a few years, got married and went into the city,
right.
And then that impulse came back and I couldn't resist it, and so my whole life actually turned upside down as a result. I ended up becoming a director of Alternatives, which is based at St James's Church, and amongst other things I do my own stuff, which is coaching, writing, running retreats and workshops around Britain and Europe.
He's very, very busy. We've just been hearing from him about what he's up to this year, and it sounds like a hell of a lot.
Yeah, a few things boiling. Yeah.
Great. So, I don't know, I mean, I think our friendship and partnership between EnlightenNext and Alternatives has really grown in the last few years, which is fantastic. And I think our common ground is something to do with the fact that we've really got, we've got a spiritual teacher, Andrew Cohen, and Alternatives have got a fantastic space to actually hold evolutionary thinkers, people who are on the leading edge, and I think you had Andrew speak many, many years ago.
He's been a few times, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had Andrew and Rupert Sheldrake speak last year, which was great, and Andrew's coming back in, it's 23rd of October, right?
Yeah.
To do a day seminar with Alternatives, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think there's some common ground there, so maybe we should just talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, well, I think we're both interested in the kind of this impulse of spirituality that's going. I think you call it, like you might say, evolutionary impulse. For Alternatives, we've been sort of tracking it for years. It's sort of coming up and down, coming in different ways, but we're really more connected to the publishing industry, where authors come, write books on self-help, personal development, coaching, spirituality. So we host a kind of broad spectrum. And certainly Andrew fits in well there, talking about spirituality. So we offer choice. It's one of our things. I suppose we could be called a pioneering brand, if you like, where we're offering kind of like, you can go into a supermarket and go, that looks nice, but it's not just to surf and just pull things off a shelf. You look at it and go, what a lot of people say is, I found my spiritual path 10 years ago through Alternatives, or I met Andrew through Alternatives, or I met this other teacher through Alternatives. So we're offering a space, and we've been criticised by people for that. I think the Bishop of London did say, or not especially us, but the New Age is just a supermarket of ideas.
Right.
It depends if you don't like supermarkets, really, because supermarkets offer choice, and that's one of the things we do.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really important function for the broader society. I mean, it's interesting because we were talking a couple of months ago when you came over for lunch, about the fact that with this economic downturn, more people are looking more inwardly, going, okay, how do we get ourselves into this mess? How do we get out of this mess?
Yeah.
And there's obviously an opening to spiritual and I suppose personal transformation.
Yeah.
And somehow I feel that if the offerings aren't there, no one knows what's out there.
Yeah.
If the offerings are there, you can pick and choose what you want, and that's really important. So I think it's really important, the work that Alternatives is doing.
Thank you.
And it's fantastic to actually have the opportunity to work with you in a more, a more connected, conscious and strategic way.
Yeah. Well, last year, 2009, was a very difficult year for a lot of people. Challenging.
Yeah.
Economic downturn, recession, crash or crunch, credit crunch, and all this kind of thing. And actually, for us, it was one of the best years in terms of financial, creativity, energy in the organisation. I'm sure you've probably felt something similar. In times of crisis, people look for meaning, look for something more. Maybe there was a time where they were just doing the big house, the big car, the family thing, kids to private school. But then when the crunch comes, you go, what? Is there more to life than this? That question sparks off.
Yeah.
So our audiences have grown, and this year looks even better than ever for us.
Brilliant. So, just to finish, I was thinking, how do you see the future? What kind of future do you think we're going to be walking into?
Well, for us, part of that future is technological, about going online, about offering stuff more globally. Because at the moment we're at St James. There's a fantastic church built by Christopher Wren, the guy who built St Paul's Cathedral. But you know, if you're not living in London or the home counties, it's kind of you're limited.
Yes.
But now we're offering all kinds of stuff on the web, free podcasts like we did one with Andrew. So people just go there, download all kinds of stuff, and we're trying to open that out. I mentioned to you earlier before we did this interview, we're building a kind of media site where you can download like video and ebooks, and so this is the future for us. So we're going for a global audience.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much.
Great.